Hello again, YouTube, and welcome to another video from my garden series, I guess it would be. I wanted to share a video that we were looking online actually and couldn't find any videos that really covered this too much. One of the products that we purchase a lot of, or at least my wife uses it a lot, is this roasted cassia seeds. Now I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube about the cassia and how they grow and things like that, but most of them are in foreign languages with no closed captioning, so you can't understand what the heck these people were saying. I think I saw one that had an older lady on there that kind of shared some information, but I wanted to try and make one that made a little more sense to the common person. For cassia seeds, I've seen many, like I said, many YouTube videos on this particular seed. This particular one is a seed that you make tea out of. My wife drinks this stuff a lot, and it helps her with her vision. Of course, I am not a doctor, and nor am I prescribing this for vision or anything else, but that's the reason that my wife drinks this particular product, and it does help her with her vision. For pretty much the entire time we've been married, which has been a couple of decades, has worn glasses, but since she started drinking this tea, she's actually not needed to wear her glasses probably over the last 3 or 4 years. And she attributes that to this tea. I don't know for sure. I am not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, but if it makes her happy, as they say, if Mama's happy, then Daddy's happy. But for this particular product, it comes in these little tiny seeds, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get it to where you can see how tiny these little seed things are. And I want to show you the plants and what it looks like so that you'll know. What we did is we actually planted some of the seeds from that jar and sprouted them in little starter plants, and then created some little plants, planted them in our garden, and it has turned into this ginormous bush. There's actually 2 bushes here, there's another bush here, and this ginormous bush here. So we have a lot of this cassia plant that is growing in our garden right now. I believe the total is 6 plants. And it is starting to get overwhelming on there. You can see the stalks hopefully in here. It's pretty thick. And this one is Cassia Toro, I believe, is or Tora. Cassia Toro, sorry, is what this particular one is. And you can tell by the leaf patterns and the flower patterns on the different cassias, so you know which one that you have. Now, ours, we have, of course, flowering on all cassias, and you can see one of the flower buds here. And what happens is the flower buds pop open like this. The outer yellow parts pop off of these, and when they pop off, you'll see the little squiggly in there. This little part right in here, that part there is what actually forms into these cool little strips here. Almost looks like a little skinny string bean. Now you can see here I've got, there's several of those little string beanie thingies all over the plant, and what those are is that is the actual seed pods that we're going to be harvesting when they get to that maturity point. Now, this plant is the first year that we have planted these particular seeds, so we don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. And of course, YouTube was not really any help unless you speak Indian or French or one of these other languages that I've seen these videos in. But from what we have studied and learned, though, is the seed pods, which I'll show you one up close here, They're pretty much flat, and it has a ridge on it. If I can get a good view of this particular one. It's rounded, and then it has a ridge right down the middle of it. And what we do is you have to wait till these turn from this really nice green. They'll turn to like a dried out kind of a brown, looks like brown paperish looking color. I have a few that are starting to change color over here a little bit, and they're also, you know, like I said, these ones are also a little bit thicker too, but they're starting to get the little brown spots, and they'll kind of dry out and look like paper. And then once they get to that point, you have to clip them off of here, and then you split it open down the little lip that's on them and get the seeds out. We took a couple of these in the house just so we can kind of count how many little pieces of seeds are in each pod, and we were roughly at about 30 to 40 seeds in between, you know, as an average of how many little seeds are in there. So basically one strip of this, if it has like 30 seeds, that's roughly going to make 1 cup of this particular tea. And you can see we've got, you know, a couple of very large plants here that are still flowering, which means there's still going to be more of the little seedling pouches on here as well. Now, if you follow it, you know, other people on YouTube, and like I said, you can understand different languages, they'll tell you that, or suggest to you anyway, again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to say anything like that, but it'll suggest to you that this particular tea is used for arthritis, for intestinal problems, for vision, for pimples, for all kinds of different remedies. And of course it is an Asian item, so a lot of the Asian community will probably know a little bit more about that than me, because, you know, I am not Asian by any stretch of the imagination. My wife, however, is, and this is one of the things she grew up on, so she knows a little bit more about at least the tea and how it will affect her. And so as long as she feels that it's doing something for her and it's not harming her body in any way, then I'm all for it. Now, another cool thing about this particular plant is, besides that it grows really fast and really big, and it gives you tea, at least the tea pellets, is at night the leaves on this actually close up. So once it gets shady on this, the leaves will actually close up. Let me get to one of these. Like this, these leaves will actually close up like this at night. It is really actually kind of cool to see it as it happens. I have another plant that's in the shade now that I want to show you, that we've already had to transplant some of the smaller plants like this just so that we could move them around. But as you can see, this one is already in the shade because the sun has passed the trees on this. Now, we transplanted this, but you can see it actually looks like it's dying, but the leaves just close at night. So this particular bush right now thinks that it's getting nighttime, so it's closing up its leaves to, I guess, go to sleep. And that's one of the cool things about this particular plant. Now, like I said, as you can see from a distance, these are some really large bushes, and we're hoping to get a lot of seeds from them, from the seed pods. This one here is a Wang product of Korea, and it's 22 ounces of this, and it costs, on sale, it costs $6.79, so, you know, that's a bit pricey. But if we can plant a couple of these seeds in the ground and make our own plants that'll actually have, I'm guessing about every 2 plants that we have grown so far will fill up this jar with the seedlings. So that's actually really good for production rate. But I just wanted to share that with you guys in case you guys had any questions about it. It does like full sun. It seems to be the happiest that way. Like I said, we've been getting a lot of rainwater here over the last few weeks, and it has just been loving that. Although it doesn't take the wind that well, so we've had to stake them up and tie them off so that they don't lean over and fall because they get tall really fast and not so much the stable. So if you're going to try to grow them, then you may want to try putting them on a trellis or up against a fence line or something so that they have something to grab onto and you can wire them up to it. And that'll be the best for it. Alright, hope that explains a little bit about this particular product and this particular plant. If you have any questions, leave them below. If not, hope you enjoyed. Talk to you later.